Hello, Internet. I'm Matt Freed, and I proudly present to you Cup Monster.
I'm at the Pizza Hut. What? I'm at the Taco Bell.
Welcome yet again, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Sleeping In with Matt Freed. I'm Matt Freed, and that little theater piece right there was from my new one-man show, Love Me, Love Me, Love Me. On this week's episode, we have our good friend, Mr. Vaughn, who is now part of the cast of the new USA Network show, Fairly Legal. What do you say about Vaughn, except the fact that he's just funny, he's adorable, I fall asleep thinking about him every single night, I can't stop thinking about him, I've envisioned a life for us together. I mean, really, what do you say about him? We got an opportunity to sit down with Baron live via Skype interview when he was finishing up season 1 in Vancouver, British Columbia. Baron got a chance to talk to us about the show, about his own career. It's episode 9 of Sleeping In with Matt Freed. I'll catch you on the other end. Later.
That's fine. So what's up, man? What are you drinking? Coffee? Tea? What's going down?
I'm drinking some coffee out of my patented dinosaur mug, which I'm trying to make sure I have in every single interview of this podcast. It's really cool, actually. I got it on Target.com for about $9, and when you put liquid inside of it, the dinosaurs turn into skeletons, and then the more you drink, they turn into the real thing right here, actually. So.
Oh, cool.
Uh-huh.
That's basically the dinosaur equivalent of like the pen with the naked lady on it.
Pretty much.
Like one upside down, she's got no clothes, and the other way, she's got clothes. But you did the nerdier version of it. You're like, what about dinosaur bones?
Well, you know, Baron, I have to.
This would be great if this naked lady was a dinosaur.
Well, you know, Baron, I have to go with what I know, and what I know is dinosaurs, and what I don't know is naked women. So.
Okay, all right, I'm with you on that one.
So talk a little bit about this new show that you're doing on the USA Network, Fairly Legal.
It's about a woman named Kate who is a mediator, alternative dispute resolution, some people call it, ADR. And I play Kate's assistant, Leonardo. I'm kind of like her brother from another mother, you know what I mean? Like, we have a very kind of a sibling relationship, and we learn a lot from each other, even though she'd never admit it. But she learns a lot from me, and I'm the go-to guy to like help her research somebody or to find like certain really lost files, or to get like special things. Like I'm the guy who gets it done. I'm the muscle, but not the muscle in terms of I beat somebody else, but I'm the research. I am Google to her. I am Lycos.
You just say yeah.
I am Alta Vista.
You want to throw a web crawler reference in there just in case? In Boston, did you do anything that was in any way related to what you're now doing as a comedian at all, or was it a completely different path back then?
Well, the thing is about being in theater school is like I was there all the time, Like, as I said before, it's like I knew that I had to bomb before I got big, or before I got good, doing stand-up. So it came down to finding an open mic that I could do that was going to fit my schedule, because literally I only had Sundays off. Wow. Like we were in class all the time, rehearsals at night. We had rehearsal all day Saturday. So it was like Sunday was my night off. And Monday nights I ran the improv troupe at my school. Wow. So it was like, okay, well, I got to find this place. And I found this place called The Vault, Dick Doherty's Comedy Vault, which is actually right next door to Emerson's Theater, the Colonial, and a lot of, not the Colonial, I think it's the Colonial, the Emerson Majestic, that's what it's called. Okay. That's Emerson's Theater. And it was next door, so a lot of Emerson students came to this place to do open mics. And that's kind of where I started, so I got to meet a lot of those guys. But you're absolutely right, Emerson has a ridiculously ridiculous tradition of comedians, from Dennis Leary to David Cross to Janine Garofalo to Bill Burr to Tom Shalhoub. It's like all these people came in and out of Emerson, and I was not one of them. I was a Boston youth. I interacted with some of them, the Emerson kids, but it was like I was so wrapped in school that it's like I got away when I could, and it was nice to like start to kind of create some friendships with comedians that were going to different colleges or people that just were outside of the world of my school, you know, because you need that when you're in a program that's so intense to be like, hey, the world goes on beyond this.
You go out and like you hit point A, you hit point B, you hit point C in terms of career milestones, and then there are people who they hit all those career milestones, and then maybe it won't hit the same way that it hits for their other comedian friend. Did you ever feel that way? Because you've done so much since you've come to New York. Like you've been in film, you've been on Broadway, you're now on this TV show. Did you ever feel that same kind of pressure or any kind of that same frustration?
And that is something that I really think is the difference between New York and Los Angeles comedy. Mm-hmm. Is that in LA, regardless of how good you may or may not be, mm-hmm. the making it aspect of once you get this, then you get on Comedy Central, then you get a late night spot, and then you get in the festival, and then you get that's drilled into them. And it's like in New York, it's a little bit more. There's a premium on the amount of experience you have and how original your material may or may not be. Mm-hmm. Or like this is about developing your voice and breaking, creating your own unique style. In the milestones, I can see, yes, that is true, but it's never really been a big concern of mine, except when I'm like, maybe I should concentrate on these milestones I keep hearing about from Los Angeles comedians, and I compare myself and then get depressed. That's when it enters into my head. But majority, I'm just trying to do what it is that I do.
For you, what's the ultimate career goal?
It's a little of all of the above, I mean, like, I'm hoping that the TV show will be good and, get picked up for another season and people will respond to it and it'll help me sell tickets at comedy clubs. Mm-hmm. Because I would like to, it's not that I want to be on the road, but like, yeah. I do want to go to key cities. The beginning of January is going to be, I might have Austin. I might be in Austin. Mm-hmm. The middle of January is San Francisco and the end is Seattle. That's exactly what I've been wanting. It's like I'm doing 3 major cities in the same month, doing an hour in each of these places. So it's like I'm finally starting to get there, and I'm hoping that to create the relationships with these clubs so that even if I don't have a TV show, I can still do the touring, make my money, come back to LA. I guess ultimately when I think of my ultimate goal is that I want to one of my heroes and an example that I think of a lot is Robert Townsend.
Okay.
And
Meteor Man.
He's sort of he's Meteor Man. That's exactly right. I think that Robert Townsend, in terms of black comedy, was extremely influential. He is the reason. It's basically out of his head that something like. Or because of him, he started the wheels that became In Living Color. Mm-hmm. He started the wheels that became Eddie Murphy. He directed Raw. People forget that him and Keenan Ivory Wayans and Robert Townsend they were like the brains behind Eddie Murphy. Like they collaborated on his material. They really were like those guys. And so it's like there's a big part of me that I want to continue to be a stand-up. I want to maybe act here and there, but more that I would like to be a writer and a creator, maybe a director, but I've never directed. But just always for my entire life, whenever I see a movie that I like, the first thing I've always thought is who wrote that. Mm-hmm. It was never really who was in that or who directed it. It was like who is the person that came up with the idea that became that.
Well, folks, that just about does it for our fun little episode with Mr. Baron Vaughn. Now, be sure to check out the premiere of Fairly Legal, premiering Thursday, January 20th at 10 o'clock p.m. on the USA Network. Folks, as always, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to check out this episode. We are at www.sleepinpodcast.com. We're on Twitter at @sleepinpodcast. My producer for this show was Sarah Wilson and Caitlin Brodnick. Very special thanks to Baron for taking some time out of his day to do the interview with us. And, folks, I do have one question. If I just stare awkwardly into the camera, is this going to make things uncomfortable? You be the judge.